You cutting now, bulking, Jesse? Do anything in particular, or just
welcome everyone to our show? Another episode of the Keto Chat. Sorry to interrupt Colt's broadcast here, you guys. Welcome. I'm your host, Carol Freeman, and some of you might know me as Keto Carol. Thank you all for tuning in here. Tonight's episode is all about achieving your goals. I'm just going to start out by sharing with you that I got an email today from somebody who was considering working with me. And she's like, how are things going for you, right? Because a lot of people, how many of you guys think this right now? Those of you watching, also my guests here tonight, how many of you have heard of people that are just like, well, I might as well just eat junk food and give up. I can't go to the gym, so might as well just lay around and gain weight. So this lady that was considering working with me, she's like, well, you know, dieting is not on our plans right now. So best of luck to you. But it's like, for my people that I'm teaching keto, we're following it as this is our lifestyle. We're not dieting. We're following a healthy lifestyle. Right. So, how many of you guys watching right now, and those of my guests here, like, do you find that it's a very dichotomous thing right now? People are like, I'm just giving up. I'm doing nothing. Or like, I'm doubling down and making.
I don't surround myself with those types of people.
Yeah, weak people. That's the kind of people that give up on stuff.
All right, I can't wait to talk to you guys. We're gonna have a great. Well, so those of you watching, don't feel bad if you're kind of like in that camp where you're here because you want a kick in the butt, you want the motivation, you want some inspiration. These guys are the ones. And other guests that we've had on too. So our goal here today is to give you some inspiration, give you a lot of reasons and dig deep, like why this is the time to actually make yourself a better version of yourself, focus on your goals. And here's some examples of people that are doing that now instead of just going, well, I can't control anything. I might as well give up on everything. So anyways, that's our goal tonight. I've been running this show live now. It's just a little bit over a week. Mike DeVore, let's get some inspiration. Yeah, Mike.
Oh, Mikey.
Get that canvas going.
we get some love for our live viewers here. So, that's not. We don't use those words on here now. True. I'm gonna put you back in. I'm gonna put you in quarantine now if you say not nice words to people. Yeah. We'll do virtual broadcast quarantine. So, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me give you brief introductions of who we've got here tonight. We've got Colt Milton, Jesse Warren, and Pocholo Cruz. I'm going to give you more information about them as I bring each of them up. So up first, roll the dice. I wish I had Jesse's wheel that he used to do for his your improv show. I don't even know if that was even fake or not, but
it was real.
Okay, I should get that for this show. Anyways, oh man, Pocholo, you're in trouble. Look at this.
Oh, cool feature, Carol. You can highlight the comment. Yeah. That's really neat.
All right, thank you for watching right now. We appreciate you right here. All right, he says he's just kidding. Yeah. So, well,
okay, you didn't have to highlight that comment.
Because of Pocholo, we're gonna make him go last. All right, so. Okay, up first, I'm going to call on Colt Milton, newcomer to the comedy scene in Seattle area. He's a stand-up comedian as well as competitive bodybuilder and coach. He and his wife together run Pacific Northwest Paleo, a paleo keto meal prep service for competitive athletes or busy professionals. Meal prepping has been a passion of theirs long before they began promoting selling of their meals. Colt can be found on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as Colt Milton. Currently, he lives in Seattle, Washington with his wife and son and daughter with plans to move to Los Angeles to further expand their business. I guess he's going to be abandoning us soon. Well, maybe as soon as you can actually leave the state. But welcome, Colt, to the show.
Thank you. Applause is deafening.
All right.
Dude, would you really say meal prepping is a passion?
Yeah, it is a passion. I actually love it. It's literally like my favorite thing that I do every Sunday.
I was about to say, dude, you wish every day was Sunday, huh?
Yeah.
Don't tell his wife that he loves meal prepping, his favorite thing in the world on Sundays. So
no, I do, because it's just so, everything we do is just so second nature. Like I'm literally cutting steak and sweet potato like for hours, and so that's when we have some of our best conversations. Actually, is both of us just in the kitchen together, because we're both go-getters. Like, we can't just like sit down and have a conversation. We have to be doing something, and so that way we're productive and we're talking. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, Colt, tell us your tips for, what are your goals right now in your life? Let's start with that, and then we'll talk a little bit more.
Well, our goals change from year to year. This last year, I really wanted to get my pro bodybuilding card, and I didn't quite get it. And I just got to a point where I was like, man, I need to take a couple years off because it was taking a lot out of me, and I was losing muscle mass from show to show. And so I just got to a point where I was like, I need to get healthier, get more focused, and focus on some businesses, and then take a couple years to be able to get bigger and more competitive, because I keep taking like second and third place to guys that are bigger than me, that have been doing it for 5 to 10 years longer. So that was last year's goals. And then this year's goals is I'm putting pretty much everything I have into comedy right now. I'm trying to come out with like 1 minute to 2 good minutes every single week. And I figure if I do that over the course of a year or 2 years, that'll be somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours of material. And then from there, I'm probably looking to move on from the Seattle area. So about a 1.5 to 2 year plan to move on from here. Ideally, I don't know if that's realistic or not, but just the way that I set goals and the way that the math works to me, that's kind of what makes sense to me. So yeah.
It sounds like a goal of a new comedian.
Yeah.
2 minutes a week, dude. That's an ambitious goal.
Really?
Especially when
That's an ambitious fucking goal, bro.
Especially when there's nowhere to perform right now.
I know. I've just been like writing and practicing like a madman right now, but I got, I think, 2 pretty good minutes this week, which is like a lot. So, or at least for me, it is. Maybe not for some.
2 minutes that you haven't tested yet.
2 minutes I haven't tested yet. And it's one of those things where it's like, I swear to God, it's really funny, but man, I've thought that about some of my material before, and then I get on stage and every single joke bombs. And I'm just like, what happened?
Yay!
And there's no worse feeling. Like, bombing alone is bad, but when you bomb on something that you knew for sure was gonna work, that's a struggle. It's like you go in for a kiss on your first date, and she gives you like a side hug.
Aren't you a Christian boy, dude? You can't kiss on her.
Let me use that analogy then, right? So like, what's a good kiss to one woman is not going to be a good kiss to every single woman out there. And that's part of learning stand-up comedy, is that your joke, you've got to know which audience is going to like that joke and which one doesn't. So
it's just like kissing. Yeah.
2 minutes of material. You can't use that same kiss on every girl out there. You got to have a different kiss. But when you're married, you only have to work on kissing one girl. So I guess
maybe that's my problem. Maybe it's because I'm married. I just think of comedy the same way, and I'm like, if I do it this way, everybody will like it because it's the way I think.
If you kiss a girl in Seattle, she's going to appreciate a much more intelligent kiss than a girl in like Richland
or Renton.
What's an intelligent kiss? Like you're reading literature as you're kissing the girl?
Yeah, I'm spelling out
War and Peace.
Yeah, I'm spelling out some words that somebody in Tacoma might not really comprehend.
Intelligent kiss. Well, and a word that's a new one on me is mucous membrane. That's what everybody's talking about now because of the coronavirus. That's how it's transmitted.
Look who's here. Look who's here.
Is this your mistress?
See, this is proof. I do have good kisses.
Yeah, your mistress. But are they intelligent kisses?
Now I got to be careful what I say because I know she's listening. Right, no more marriage, guys.
I feel like Noah Buckley must have intelligent kisses.
That he probably does.
He's like reading 2 books while he's kissing.
I mean, he's already admitted that he likes meal prep the most, so he's an okay kisser at least. So
sonnets.
Oh, Samantha, thanks for being here. This is going to be a fun show. I can already tell this is going to be crazy fun. So, okay, so you got some very ambitious goals. It sounds like this is probably kind of your default mode, is setting goals and achieving things. How long have you been doing bodybuilding?
This is my 3rd season that I competed, and so this has been 3 years now. Every summer is winter typically. People get big, bulky, and fat in some cases, and you try not to get too fat and then try to trim it up as much as you can for the competitions. But yeah, my first season wasn't really the best. I was like, I literally just read this book, the Bodybuilding Bible by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I read that.
Nice. That's like a $45 Amazon order.
I'm like, picking this book up is like a workout in and of itself. So I was halfway there. But yeah, when I read that book, I just got super inspired, and then I stepped on stage, not really with the best conditioning or the best posing or anything, and then took some time off, tried it again the next year, and got a little bit better. But the third year, I decided to hire a coach finally, and it was a pretty big investment. It was like $180 a month, and I'm still paying him too because he's still coaching me in the off season. Because I just realized that, yeah, it's expensive to have a coach, but it's more expensive not to have a coach because of all the mistakes you make and areas that you realize that you could have done better if you would have followed somebody else's guidance or had somebody hold you accountable.
Hey, those of you that are watching right now, I want you to ask some questions with Colt. So start typing those in the comments here, because I bet you got some good questions for him. So what made you decide to get started? So you've been doing about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to, was it Miss Taylor that was like, Colt, you got the goods, you should go into bodybuilding?
Well, you know what's hilarious is at improv, like a few months ago, Jesse completely called it out. He was like, "You seem like somebody that like went off the deep end after high school and then just like found God and found the gym and reinvented yourself." And I was like, that actually pretty much sums it up better than I could summarize it.
Dude, right, you got that energy so hardcore. What?
Jesse, can you share with us? You're really good at seeing people, right? Because you've learned that. So why don't you tell us? You've analyzed Colt. Tell us more about his past.
He's a cartoon character. But like that's in the most, in a good way. I think that people who are like caricatures are interesting. But when I saw him perform, and like when somebody is so intensely dedicated to like Jesus, but also the gym, I assume that they had a drug problem like very early in life.
Oh, which one? Tell us, Jesse. You're just making this up right now, but or maybe
no,
not.
I mean.
Yeah, let's just let Jesse keep going. This story is getting better and better. I'm just gonna
I think it was alcohol for Colt personally. Because he doesn't have any tattoos. If he had tattoos, I would have.
Did I tell you this, or are you just guessing this right on?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about your life, dude. This is me just reading you like a fucking book, dude.
Yeah, that's accurate.
You could probably do you could probably do me pretty easy. I don't know. I feel like people are like, you can only be so many different kinds of people. There are only so many different kinds of people you can be, and you just got to choose one, and you chose this one. So kudos to you. It's not a bad one to choose. You could have chose, a worse one. But yeah, so that's my read on you. And it sounds
how did he meet his wife? Let's hear that story.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let Jesse tell us since he knows everything about me.
Yeah.
That's okay. How'd you meet your wife?
Could be in high school, or they met at like a weekend.
Oh my God, 100%.
Was it at church?
110%. They've known each other since they were very young. 110%.
Everybody thinks that about us. No, we met sophomore year, freshman year in college, end of our freshman year.
Okay, wow. That's still pretty fucking young. That's pretty early. But yeah, I thought maybe you guys were high school sweethearts, but might be.
Yeah, it was weird. Like we met, and then we didn't even really date. We just started talking. We were like, yeah, we're gonna get married. And that was it.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Marching band.
Here we go.
And that's where we met.
Marching band at EW. Marching band.
We both.
Okay, so here we go.
Sax.
Pocholo, guess what instrument Colt played. Here we go. This is gonna be fun.
All right.
Let's see. I know. I mean, since you're like a trainer or like bodybuilding now, I guess like a tuba, something big.
Bro, I would never be a brass player.
I bet he was flute.
I don't even know what that means. I know nothing about band.
Nope. Carol's closer. Saxophone.
What's up?
Oh,
saxophone.
Sax, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, we got everybody's fanboys here.
Why is Jesse here?
Because I'm a master on goal setting. No, actually, I'm an amateur goal setter, master goal achiever. So
he's also a psychic.
I thought this was for people.
Fair. I'm not currently improving. I have reached peak improvement. So it is a bit tough to speak to people who are still in the improving process. But
Yeah.
I feel like I bring an
Well, you're
interesting
doing better than Austin at Twitter.
Samantha's guessing violin.
Guessing I play violin.
Violin's
No.
not even. Is that even in a marching band? Is that a marching
Right.
band instrument?
No.
Violin?
No, but
Just
that's
carrying
ironic.
a violin.
It wasn't, but he was a rebel, so he played violin in marching band. So, all right. So Jesse, guess what instrument then his Taylor, his wife, was playing in marching band just for
They
fun.
both played the saxophone because Colt said that under his breath, and everybody else ignored it.
Oh, okay, good job.
He reads minds. He's got great hearing.
Paying attention. I don't know if I want to hold. Here's the roast show, you guys. If your goal is to be a good
Colt
roaster,
looks like
a rhomboid
on steroids.
What the fuck is a rhomboid?
The rhomboid.
I think he's talking about like a rhombus,
Right
like the
there.
shape.
It's right there.
yeah.
No, that's a rhombus.
I'll have you guys know
You mean
that
rhombus or trapezoid? He like combined two shapes.
Yeah, he's trying to rhyme. It has an oi or oi in both words. So nice try, Austin. I'll have you guys know that in consideration for this show, part of Colt's submission to me was a YouTube video where he was showcasing his posing on the beach. So
There were rhomboids in that photo shoot too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So share with us, Colt, how do you write down your goals? How do you set your goals? Tell us more about your specific strategies and how you do that.
Yeah. Everything's written down, and I don't think I've ever actually hit a single goal that I've set.
Okay.
To be completely fair, I really don't think. Oh, he did mean rhombus.
I meant rhombus.
Yeah, you were right. Yep. But yeah, the goals are all written down, and whether I achieve them or not isn't necessarily the plan, even though that's what you want. I just finished reading Sebastian Maniscalco's autobiography. You guys all know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's probably my all-time favorite comedian, and he had a chapter at the end where he said none of his happiness has ever come from anything that he's accomplished, but just from putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward. So
I love that, actually. Maybe that's my favorite thing that's happened on this. That's really solid perspective. I know Jesse's going to disagree because it's all about achievement, but
What?
No. That's a part of setting goals is working towards something. Rather, it's not so much about actually achieving it. You might get something better along the way, or you might find that you have a different goal as you work towards that. But
yeah,
I like that.
Thanks.
Have you always, well, I mean, if we're going to believe what Jesse said about your past, you've had some difficulties. So you want to share a little bit about, contrast where you had some struggles and what brought you to the awesome, magnificent goal setter that you are now?
Yeah, just after a couple years in marriage, my wife and I were just arguing a lot, and we just weren't really making a lot of money like we wanted to be, and we were just frustrated, and both of us just kind of felt like we were failing at life, and so I just started going to the gym, and I was like, this is kind of cool because every week my deadlift goes up a little bit, my squat goes up a little bit, and so that's kind of a confidence boost, and it was just something to build off of, and then just one thing led to another, and then I read Arnold's book, and I was like, wow, this, everything in life is sets and reps, because that's his analogy for everything, because of course he did acting and politics, and he actually did stand-up comedy too for a couple months. Can you imagine that? Arnold Schwarzenegger on stage at an open mic.
Yeah,
I bet he does a really good impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not proud of it though, because anybody can imitate Arnold.
Samantha, by the way, I would love if you don't lock your keyboard, please keep whatever comes out of those fingers of yours right now is going to be magic. So please keep engaging.
Thanks for joining too.
Do you use any apps or technology in your goal setting?
Nope, just pen and paper.
What?
Yep,
what are you, like a 65-year-old man or something?
I love pen and paper. All my jokes are written down on index cards. And which I'm trying to get away from. Actually, I'm so right now. What I realized is, and I've had Robert Pitti. I've had a lot of people tell me and give me constructive criticism that I'm just painfully written and need to be more animated and act out more. So that's more of what I'm going with. I'm trying to get away from writing now and just as much stage time as possible and talking as much as I can and practicing acting out and that kind of thing.
All right, let's see your Arnold act out right now.
My Arnold act out. Oh man. So what I hit. So you know what I like about 24-hour fitness is how when you go into 24-hour fitness, they ask for your phone number as well as your fingerprint, and it's like, are they
really? Wow.
Yeah, like what's with the high security? Are they trying to keep people out? Like, I want to work out. Let me inside. Like,
I feel like
what's the
24-hour fitness would not reject Arnold Schwarzenegger, even if they didn't have his fingerprint on file.
Yeah, I don't think they would need to fingerprint him. They'd be like, no, it's you.
Let him walk in.
Just come inside.
Oh, Jesse, do you have an Arnold impression?
I don't like doing voices.
Okay. Pocholo, what
I can do a good Chinaman, but I feel like this is not the.
Well, you get the pass, right? You're allowed to.
No, I'm Korean.
Oh.
You haven't been to Korea lately, though, right?
No, I'm actually
You're not
Japanese.
Korean.
Okay.
You're not Korean. You fake
Pocholo,
Korean.
do you have an Arnold impression? Pachola, do you have an Arnold impression?
An Arnold impression? Nah, I don't
Do you-
imitate white people.
Who's your fitness hero?
Who's my fitness?
My hero?
Pocholo's or mine?
Oh, Pocholo.
Pocholo.
Oh, me? Like
Yeah, well, I don't know.
hero,
No,
just
the
like
other
a-
one.
the other one? Yeah, just go Colt. I think you had an idea for a hero.
Oh, my fitness
Can
hero
you guys
is
teach me?
my fitness hero is Jesse Warren because
That's great.
he has abs and he's a comedian, so that's my goal right there. Yep.
That means a lot.
Whoa.
Mine is Greg Plitt. Are you guys familiar with Greg Plitt?
Nope.
He was a fitness model, top 5 in the world, and he, for a publicity stunt, decided to race train, and the train ran him over, and he died.
That's goals.
Oh, shit.
That's
Wow.
goals. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good way to go down, though.
No, it's a very embarrassing way to go down. I think it's
Probably
the
hurts
worst.
a lot too. Yeah.
It's very, very, very embarrassing, very sad. It makes him look like what you think a stereotype of like a fitness guy would be. It's just very dumb. Don't race a train.
He should have been a comedian. He would have gone out with a win.
I mean,
Yeah.
how are you doing out there? You still on quarantine out in Chicago? That's what I saw last. So
Yeah, it looks like it means like on display last time I saw
we just
him.
got a sad emoji. This is bad. We gotta pick this up. We gotta have a different topic.
We got to pick this up.
Yeah. All right. Colt, thank you so much. If any of you have questions
you.
for Colt, keep them in the chat box here. Keep going. He's here. Up next, we have the king of goal setting in the comedy scene. We have Jesse Warren. He's a former competitive powerlifter, former SpaceX software engineer, current sex icon. Did you guys know this? He's a co-founder of the tech comedy startup Socially Inept, and he has vowed to either go viral or die trying, but not running in front of a train. Welcome, Jesse Warren, bruh. Is that how you say that?
Thank you, Colt. Yes. Thank you. Glad to be here.
All
I didn't
right.
know you're a power lifter.
Yeah, that was the only thing I competed in was powerlifting. And strongman, I did a strongman competition actually.
Did you pull a bus? What'd you pull?
My deadlift?
We have record attendance right now. We have 10 people live, you guys. Jesse,
Wow.
don't this dropped
Well,
right now.
don't ask me how much I deadlift. Is there anything more boring than me saying a number? Like
No,
there's
like-
no number I could say.
Like, oh, I just dropped to 8. Oh, we lost 2. Thanks, Jesse.
It's because you're asking me how much I deadlift.
No, I wanted to know what you did in the strongman competition.
they left.
No, I just did like one competition. I truly don't remember that much about it, but I did it. I did pretty poorly. I wasn't the worst, but I did it, and I was very underwhelmed. I find fitness sports to be like kind of boring. So I did one and then I stopped.
Okay. Well, tell us about your goal setting. Tell us why are you here to talk about goals?
Yes. So what I used to do is I used to write down my, I took this from a book, I forgot what book, but I used to write down and for this about 5 years, all throughout college, I would write down my short-term goals and my long-term goals. So I would write the 3-month goals, my 1-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, and lifetime goals. I'd edit them and grow them.
This is a fun show because all the comedians seem to be watching.
That's a challenge.
All right.
Well, comedians they could stand to take some notes from my goal setting abilities. So I feel like that's good that they're here. And then I would print these goals out on 4 or 5 different sheets of paper, and I would put them all across my apartment. So I'd put one on my toilet. I'd put one in front of my refrigerator. I'd put one next to the TV.
Wait, go back. You put your goals on your toilet, like on the lid, on the back?
Yeah, on the lid area. So when I'm peeing, I must read them. I will be forced and reminded of my goals.
So what's that say? Just like push harder?
Well, it's just to remind. It's just to keep me remember because a lot of the times you lack clarity in what it is you're trying to get done. If I feel like aimless, sometimes you wake up feeling a little aimless. I will never forget what it is that I'm currently trying to work on. If they're like literally littered across my apartment, I put one next to my desk in my work.
You realize you talk about you put your goals on the lid of your toilet when you're peeing, so you weren't aimless.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I peed on my goals. That's true.
Yeah. I mean,
this your goals.
This is what kind of support we have going on right now. The comedians out there are like, this is great. I love this. Please tell me what you're doing so I can steal it. Yeah, I mean, but we should have you on one of the shows coming up. So send me a message. I want you to come on to the show. So you got a lot to talk about the support of health and well-being.
Yeah.
So,
you better have a meet on soon.
Maybe you'll learn the secret of the show. So.
But my current goal setting approach is I don't do that anymore. I don't actually even think about like.
You don't pee on your goals. That's good. I like that.
I don't even like think too much about like setting like a long-term goal. I only focus on what I do on a day-to-day basis, and my goal is to occupy almost my entire day with like working on a specific task, like writing or performing or working on my company. And I try to do that on a day-to-day basis, and then I trust that it adds up over time. So they're like lifestyle goals. Like I want to be able to wake up when I want, exercise, and then like work. And if I do that every day with that focus on the day as this like the lowest unit of time, I trust that it adds up, and this has been working well for me recently.
You're scaring our viewers right now. So if you could turn on a light, then we won't lose. So if
refuse.
Light, I mean, you have to give us like a heart reaction.
Yeah. He has optimal lighting for goal setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do my best work in the dark.
He lights himself up with achievement.
So it sounds like more you're just living your life. A lifestyle that's in alignment with your values more than specific goals.
Yes, this is my new approach to goal setting. It's lifestyle goals rather than like.
Oh, we got a heart. That Jesse, do you have a light you can turn on? I mean, we just got a heart emoji. That's for you.
It's better.
Yay!
Yeah, you're not just like brooding in the dark.
Now there's just light behind you.
It's not.
I know. So the reason I didn't have it on because the lighting is not good at all. It's behind me. It should be like down lighting. You know, that's some good stuff.
All right, resonate. Nancy's saying living one day at a time. So
yeah,
exactly. This is our first non-comedian that's watching tonight. That's great. Thank you, Nancy, for watching here. So you guys be nice to her. Be nice.
I like Nancy.
Nancy's great.
Now you look like Jesus.
Yeah, maybe if Jesus was a mixed race,
look
ambiguous
like Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, you are dressed in your white hoodie.
Oh man. So what are your current goals? What's your lifestyle aiming towards right now?
Yeah. So my goal is to.
Wait, Nancy, don't encourage them. No, actually, this is fun, you guys.
You guys are funny. Very good. I'm glad you like the humor aspect of the show. My current goals is I want to progress as a comedian first and foremost. So I dedicate at least a couple hours a day to writing. Secondly, my company, Socially Inept, we did have like a quantifiable goal for 2020, and we were on our way to achieving it. We wanted to start making revenue in the 6 figures, and we were very much on track to do that until this fucking shit hit the fan. But we're also trying to adapt to it, and we're thank you, Amin. I miss you too. This does not take courage, though. I feel like courage is not what
You're so brave. So brave.
But love you too, Dylan. I miss you.
And
And
maybe he's talking about my shirt that says courage on it. Maybe that's what he's.
and I wish I had the chance to go in the sauna with you. I missed out on my chance. We were trying to set that up, but it didn't work.
Well,
But
can I stop you for a second? I'm gonna set a goal for this show right now. We've already got 3 different emoji reacts. I think we should set a goal. We want all the emojis. So we're missing the laugh emoji.
Just all
We're missing the angry one too. So
anger emoji. We can get that.
Yeah. Nancy, maybe you can give us a laugh emoji. You said we're funny. So if you want to do that, we'll wait later. The anger one, maybe that's towards the end where we can figure out what we can make people angry with. But
I can talk about how the journey is overrated. Well, maybe that'll get somebody to give me the anger emoji.
Journey the band or Journey the goal?
Like how you guys were praising the process rather than the end product. But I actually don't believe that. I do believe it's about the process.
Okay. He's just here to be contrary to everything we say.
Yeah, trying to subvert expectation.
I'm waiting for somebody to give us this emoji, the one with the 2 hands. It's like that shape. I don't even know what that is. It's like a clap, but there's also a clap emoji that looks like that too.
Well, it's funny because people use this. It's backwards. I can't do it. They use this as praying, but actually the emoji was originally 2 people high-fiving.
Oh, it's the high five emoji.
Really?
Is that really what that's
Fun
supposed
fact,
to be?
yeah. So people use it as I'm praying for you, thank you, but it
That's
actually
not
was meant to be 2 people high-fiving.
So I use it to express gratitude. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
That, like,
Yeah,
when,
Like you're bowing.
yeah, that's how I.
usage of it. Yeah, thank you. I'm praying for you. That's a common usage, but originally it was 2 people high-fiving. So it's kind of like the word virtually now. That means not virtually, or no, literally. Anyways.
Yeah, Gary Goldman has that fucking great joke where he talks about how like literally the definition of literally has expanded to now also encompass figuratively. So,
Right. And we've got a lot of words like that in our language. So
Metaphorically.
okay, Nancy didn't give us a laughy, but we enjoyed the journey. So are you using any apps or technology now, or in your
my goal setting? Yeah, I actually am trying to like get away from my phone more, but at the same time I do want to go viral on social media. That is a goal of mine. I do think that going viral is like this very interesting thing that people have the potential to do, to get like people to like see what it is that you do. But I tweet every day. I'm trying to amass a Twitter following, and I'm in a bunch of I am in a handful of viral YouTube videos, not produced by myself, but produced by a company called Cut here in Seattle, and those have been good for me. But I try to stay away from my phone for the first hour of the day. I try not to check it.
That's really important. You're a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, you said, right?
Never said that.
Oh, really? I thought you and I talked
You
about
were
it.
talking about Gary Goldman. I think you mentioned Gary Goldman.
You're not. I actually don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, but you're not the first person to bring him up around me. It's happened 3 times now, so people like just kind of assume that I like this guy.
I think you remind me of him in ways.
It's a sign of the universe. You're supposed to go follow him.
Yeah.
Do you even know who he is or no?
Gary V.
He's like, people say he's like a motivation guy or something. I'm not quite sure.
I would maybe call him like a social media strategist. He owned a wine store. He's super wealthy. Yeah, he's all over social media. He's probably like, I don't know. I have to say that at least the most well-known guy that I'm aware of that teaches how to use social media to leverage your business and
we just had a spike in viewership. So Jesse, say something really great about goal setting right now.
Tell them how much you deadlift.
Yeah,
we never
The
finish.
people want to know.
Yeah. Legitimately 783 pounds. So very
what?
strong.
Oh my gosh! And you?
No, that's not how much. That's not how much. That's not how much. Truthfully, I don't even remember what my max lifts were. And people ask me all the time. But the reason I don't remember is because it doesn't matter. Truthfully, nobody cares. How much you lift doesn't matter at all. It only matters how healthy you are and how much you look like you can lift. Because that will let you attract the people you want.
Which is what I love, because like that's more what I'm better at. My lifts are all actually terrible compared to how much I weigh. So that's really
I believe it, dude. I bet you are actually like comparatively weak for how you look.
They're pretty bad. Yeah, they are.
Pocholo, have you had Colt on your wrestling show yet?
Nope.
This is the first time.
You can't do that anymore.
First time I met. Yeah.
Okay. This is the first time that he and I've ever talked or even known about each other.
What's up, Colt?
What's up, buddy?
When the ban is off, when we can actually get together again, I vote you should have him on your wrestling show next. All right, let Jesse wrap up. Please complete your thoughts and tips on goal setting, lifestyles leading towards goals, and then.
Well, I'm glad you came with a good set of specific questions, Carol, because I'll try my best here to sum up my philosophy on goal setting. Essentially, I'm more a fan now of lifestyle goals, focusing on what I can do every day, like my daily hour-by-hour breakdown of work, rather than like setting some kind of lofty long-term goal. Because I find that the people who set the lofty goals, they'll actually not put as much work in. Because I really try not to take. I take very few days off, and I like it that way. And by focusing on the day as the unit of goal setting, I'm able to not deceive myself into thinking I'm working harder than I am.
I think that's really great too, because if every day you're working on, this is who I am, and this is because of what I want to be ultimately, or who I am. Whereas if you've got a goal that's way off in the future, it's really easy to talk yourself into like, well, it doesn't matter if I do it today, I'll just get around to it tomorrow.
Yes, that's also a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, Andy Stumpf was just talking about that on the Joe Rogan podcast, like the exact same analogy, just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah,
and just said my show is just like the Joe Rogan podcast.
That's exactly what I said.
Within 2 weeks, I expect 1 million viewers. This is great.
And it's going to be 3.5 hours long.
Oh,
and we're all going to be high.
You guys aren't high right now?
My studio is way too clean to be
elevated.
You guys can get high. I'll be drunk.
Dude, Colt, you look like everybody who I imagine is like the guy in an AA meeting who like speaks at the beginning.
Yeah.
Who speaks at the beginning? Guys, it's a safe space. We all know why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, what happens here only, 200 or 300 people are going to see. That's fine. Speaking of that, tune in live tomorrow night where I'm going to be doing wine tasting for keto-friendly wines. So if you want to...
what wines are you going to be tasting?
Get high and drunk. It's actually a special company called Scout and Cellar. They do clean crafted wines and organic, biodynamically grown, batch tested, no pesticides, low residual sugars, all that good stuff. No dyes, everything. Great. So
tune into that.
Jesse, sure. you were starting to talk about how with your Socially Inept company, you guys actually had a long-term goal and you were on track for that. and then things got derailed. So can you kind of talk about that? Like what happens when you try to go like that and you're on your way towards it and then life sends you a curveball?
Yeah. You have to adapt. So right now I'm having daily 2 or 3 hour meetings with my team, and we're trying to figure out how to adapt and bring our show to the virtual world. Because what I'm seeing now, there's this trend where people are trying to live stream their art, but what I'm seeing a lot of is people doing this like one-to-one mapping. They're just taking their art as it exists and then live streaming it, which can work, but I don't think it makes for the best show. I think instead leveraging the technology and the platform you choose to use and playing to its strengths, and adapting your skill set to the platform is what will make for a unique experience and a good show. So that's what we're working on right now.
Like what Carol's doing right now too.
Yes. Yeah. So this is a good example. So our show is a roast of like tech people and engineers, and everybody who is a comedian is also formerly or presently an engineer. So one of the things we're talking about today is like we could have people who are viewing link to their online resumes, and we could broadcast that so the entire audience could read this person's resume as we scroll through it together and roast it. So that's a unique capability of that wouldn't work as well at a live show. You could do it, but I think it would work better over like a software like Zoom. So we're trying to figure out how to adapt the show to this to the online, and figure out how we can get back on track. Hey
Jesse, how much time do you spend on the creative end of the talents that you have, and like your comedy and your jokes and your writing? You said you write for about 2 hours a day. How much time do you spend doing that in proportion to the amount of time that you spend on the tech end of things?
Yeah, dude, that's a good question, because I kind of want the majority of it to be creative. Like I didn't, but right now it fluctuates. It actually all completely fluctuates.
Yeah.
On how pressing a technical matter is, because like for a startup, stuff comes up, like opportunities come up when you don't expect them to. So when something comes up, you have to address it. And when that happens, I dedicate all my time to it, and then I go perform at night. But I don't have any time during the day to like work on writing or something. But when things slow down, I dedicate more time to writing.
Do you ever get like analysis paralysis where you're like, all right, like I have this project that I literally told my entire following that I would have this video done and, published on Wednesday, but I also have a new set, but I also, I have a set tonight that I need to get prepared for.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. When I'm in that scenario, I always err on the side of like the business obligation, because my comedy career is like this very long game. But the business opportunity is like this very like real present scenario.
Yeah. It just seems like the writing is and the creative stuff is so easy to put on the back burner because it's not pressure.
I know, dude.
Week after week go by and just nothing accomplished.
It's a constant struggle, man. That's the hard thing, because you do want to write every day. I think that is like a huge goal of mine, and it doesn't always end up being that way, but I'm always working to make that happen.
Yeah.
Would you guys find it offensive if I asked our viewers right now to vote whether we should end this show with a flex off or not? Is that
I'm going to say let's not do that, because I have to go get a pump real quick, and I don't have any of my gym equipment in here.
Dude, okay. Well, let's do it. Colt is going to win. Pocholo is going to be very embarrassed, but like that's how it would play out. And
we're going to put it to a vote. This isn't for sure or not, but those of you watching right now, if you want to see this show end with a flex off, all you guys at the same time, just put, type yes in the comments right now. So let us know. We're going to keep going. We have more time.
If there's no yeses, it's just this status way to go.
Yeah, that's not when you want.
We're leaving it up to you guys how the show is going to end. So if you want to see these guys flexing to end this show, type yes in the chat box here.
Watch there be 0 yeses for like a while, and then just like silent, and then Jack Slattery's like yes.
Yes.
We do need to.
We've already got one.
Slams that yes button.
Oh, and yes.
You can vote more than once.
Yeah.
So,
Carol, can we get some
the ballot box.
music? Can we get some heavy metal music for a pose down? Because I can only do a pose down if we have some music.
Well, I know YouTube doesn't like music that we don't own the credits to. YouTube probably, well, I don't know. Yeah. Jesse, you're good at rapping and beatboxing,
Somebody
right?
could beatbox. That would work.
He's good at
So-
rapping.
What does that have to do?
Well, he wants some music for the posing part, so I can't.
He's
I
afraid
got,
he doesn't get
I got my
that.
saxophone back here. Too.
Why? How?
Yes. If you guys
You don't
want to
need
hear,
music to take your shirt off, you monster.
Sexy
I
saxophone.
didn't say you guys had to take your shirt off. This is just posing. You can leave your clothes on. This is, gosh, don't get all carried away with that.
See, my best body part's my legs. So I'd probably be taking my pants off, if anything.
Okay. I mean, as long as you're just showing the appropriate parts on the screen, that's fine. So that's
Carol
the other
defines
vote.
the appropriate parts as your penis and your ball sack.
What was that?
Not gonna repeat.
Now that's an area I definitely need to pump in before I flex that.
Oh boy. This is a different kind of show. We might have to have a few more dollars for that. So, oh, look who's here, you guys. Look who's here.
Check my OnlyFans. Of course. Wrong course, Dane.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice spelling.
Of course. Dane, try spelling again. We'll post you again.
This sentence looks like every comment in the YouTube section just randomly just capitalized words, misspellings. Pocholo isn't capitalized. Jesse
Yeah.
is. Dane, you idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like so. Of course, Jesse and Pocholo are here, but sorry, Colt, he didn't mention you.
He says it again.
Of course. He just repeats it.
Well, I put it up there again. So.
Ugh.
All right,
Oh, you
Jesse,
put it-
thank
okay.
you so much. We're gonna, if you guys have questions for Jesse, again, we're polling right now. We're voting. If you guys want the show to end with a pose down, a flex off, a posing competition, you got to put some yeses. We got one vote. That's not enough. We're gonna keep the polls open until the end of the show. So keep voting for how you'd like this to end.
All we need is 2 yeses.
He's already called it, you guys. All right. So up next, we have Pocholo Cruz. He's the son of Filipino immigrants who very much question what he is doing with his life. He teaches martial arts at AMC Kickboxing Pankration. Am I saying that right? Pankration? Pankration?
Yeah, pankration.
Okay.
Yeah.
His journey to MMA, mixed martial arts. I like how he included that. For those of you that don't know what MMA is, started when an Australian exchange student, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, because that's Austrian, Australian exchange student challenged him to a street fight. What? There's a story that I can't wait to hear. Along with being an MMA practitioner, he also partakes in stand-up comedy. So he's here today to talk about martial arts training and how it applies to everyday life and comedy. So thank you, Pocholo, for your patience of being here.
Yeah.
And oh, look at this. We got another yes for the pose off at the end here. Guess who? Guess who got to see you guys pose? So, Jesse said 2. Guess how this show's ending, you guys. Tell your friends to come now because this is going to end great. Thank you, Pocholo, for being here. Street fight. Tell us.
Yeah. So that story. Yeah, I forget. But there was this Australian exchange student. I don't know. He had some. We had some disagreement or something, and then he said he wanted. He said he trained MMA and that he was gonna kick my ass. Yeah. So I had a great idea. My plan was to just jump him at his MMA gym. So I remember I didn't have a car at the time. I think I was 15, 16 or something, and I took the bus and I just waited in the parking lot of the MMA gym.
Wait,
and
I thought you said you tipped a bus. I was like, that's strong. No, anyways.
What was that?
You said okay. I thought you said you tipped a bus, cow tipping. You tipped a bus. You're like, I'm gonna tear this guy up. I tipped a bus. Anyways, you took a bus there. All right, never mind. It's not nearly as badass.
Yeah, I took a bus.
So
No, let's spend more time discussing tip or took.
yeah.
Discussing took. Okay, great. And then let's pretty much I was there. I was waiting to jump the guy, and then I remember it was there before it opened. An instructor came in and goes "Are you a student here?" And I go, yes. And then I signed up for the gym that day. And yeah, I remember I just took a class and I just ended up liking mixed martial arts. And I'm still training at that same gym. It turns out the Australian guy didn't even go to that gym. He was just saying that, trying to scare me off. But I mean, I quickly forgot about that guy. Yeah.
So now you could actually kick his ass.
That's pretty much how I got started.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That is cool. All right. So how long have you been doing it now?
Yeah. So now I'm actually an instructor now at the gym. And well, I mean, not right now since all gyms are closed. So I guess like right now, what I do is just I'm pretty much just training mixed martial arts or just training martial arts like by myself. And that's a big like transition period in terms of that, especially I mean, it's just a matter of like having structure and understanding like how to change training, especially like since people get so used to just like relying on others or on training partners or on needing equipment and stuff and other items like that. So pretty much since I can't, since everything's shut down, it's really really just focusing on myself, focusing on what I can do to improve on martial arts, just pretty much as an individual. So that's been it's been an interesting experience, and I feel it's been real explorative in terms of that, like figuring out how to get past those limitations.
So what is the goal with MMA training? Because all I've ever seen is, and those of you just joining us right now, we're having a vote. If you guys want to vote, we're going to type yes if you'd like this show to end with a pose off. So just to fill you in, somebody just joined us here, so I want to make sure you know. So what is the goal with MMA? Because we had somebody else join too. Your people are sharing right now. So vote yes if you'd like the show to end with a pose off. So, we lost somebody. What is the goal of MMA? All I've ever seen is the I don't know, the bouts, I guess is what it's called. And all it looks like is just somebody's trying to beat the crap out of somebody else. Like, tell me more about what is the goal of the training of MMA. Is there anything else besides that?
Yeah, what the training of MMA is. I mean, a lot of people think like MMA training in terms of like, the physical, like the fighting, of course, the combat aspect. But I mean, really, especially like now that I pretty much I can't really have contact like with people, or pretty much like there's no contact. I don't have any contact training anymore. But it's I really think it's more of a like a mental aspect. It's more of I mean, the way I look at it, like, yes, it's two people fighting, but it's when it comes down to it, it's a person's like will, and it's a lot more mental aspects than really gets talked about. I mean, it's mainly boring. I think it's why people don't talk about, but there's a lot more that goes into fighting than just the physical aspect of it. I'm not just like talking like strategy or what techniques you're throwing, but really it's just getting over that mental battle between oneself, like from there, because a fight in its just by its nature is an intimidating or a scary thing for people to do. So I really think about that inner battle, like that overcoming of the self in terms of martial arts. It's like at least that's how I look at it, like for me, and especially like now it's a more enhanced sense of that. It's really like it's me dealing with my expand in terms of skill, like from there. And that's like the same notion I took into comedy as well. It's like, I mean, people focus on the crowd and like garnering, but I mean, the big thing I look at it is like, okay, I'm expressing myself, and I gotta find a way to express myself without limiting myself, and that's the same way I look at martial arts, and that's the same way I look at comedy. It's like getting that expression without getting in my own way, like from there. Yeah, so that's pretty much how I look at martial arts.
Jesse and Colt, what questions do you have for Pocholo about what he's doing?
You must be a huge fan of Joe Rogan.
He's all right. I mean, I don't get high, but yeah.
I mean, just like comedian MMA. I'm like, wow, yeah, it's
Dude, Pocholo, dude, he is the Filipino Joe Rogan. Pocholo puts out 3 podcasts a week, basically, and they're all fucking long, dude. He's the fucking Filipino Joe Rogan.
What's it
I've
called?
Had Jesse on it. Yeah, I'm pretty much like Filipino Joe Rogan, but I got Pankration Philosophy is my podcast. If you want to check that out.
Is it on iTunes?
Yeah, I mean, I probably have Colt on later. We'll talk about being a youth pastor and alcohol, but yeah. I like talking. I like the comedy. I like martial arts.
Wait, what was that you said about?
That wasn't the plan, but I guess I laughed. I like them. Yeah.
What was that you said about a youth pastor and alcohol?
What was that?
What was that you said about a youth pastor and alcohol?
Wait, Jesse, you forgot that part of Colt's story. He was a youth pastor using alcohol.
I don't believe he's. I don't believe he's a youth pastor. I don't think kids would go near him. But I do think he was an alcoholic.
Okay.
Okay. we're just spreading Colt's story. As an alcoholic youth pastor already. So yeah, just getting that out there. Yeah.
But oh man, I totally lost. So what's your focus of your? You do 3 different podcasts every week, or is it 3 episodes of the same podcast weekly?
It's like so it's like it's just one podcast, but yeah, pretty much I just like talking to people and just getting a sense of what drives them and what they're trying to do with their lives. And I think the main thing is just like getting to know people. And I think what's interesting for that is because I'm on and I try to be on discover myself and get a way to communicate as well. And when others that are also on like a journey, I try to get to know them and try to get like what's the core of this person, what are they trying to do. I guess similar to what we're doing now, but yeah, get a sense of, because there's people talk I guess every day, but like how much like communication, I feel like a lot of communication is really like shallow base. So I guess like my podcast is just trying to get like deeper level conversation. I guess that sounds so.
No, it's just
so like 2 people talking.
It's so true though. I won't talk to anybody now unless it's been recorded.
That's so great. Well,
I think all of us are. I think all of us are pretty similar.
He's got to leave here in a minute and a half for work, or 2.5 minutes, and so we're gonna
a very time sensitive meal prep to do.
Yeah,
that's what's going on here. So we're gonna wrap this up. So how if we tie up? We got 2 votes, which is Jesse said what had to happen for the pose here. You guys, whatever kind of posing you want to do. Colt wanted to show off his legs. Don't fall off your chair if you're gonna do that. So the way I like to wrap these up is what I call a lightning bolt round. This is what I do in my coaching calls with my clients. So if each of you just take a turn and share your your takeaway, whatever it is you want to share to close this out, we'll do that. And then after you share, then you can take us out with your pose down, so or flexing or whatever. So all right, who's up first? Brandon.
Wait, so we're sharing our takeaway from the conversation, or like just like ourselves? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from the conversations, I feel like I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Like I feel like I came away from this conversation with 3 new friends that I didn't have before. But like getting to know you, wow, dude. Like I've never heard. We've never met each other before, but we obviously have a lot in common. Carol, you too. I knew you as a comedian. I didn't know that you had all these certifications and all this education and knowledge about keto, and your website is freaking amazing. And Jesse, you too, man. I certainly had a lot of takeaways from you about goal setting and your mindset around that. So that's my takeaway.
Cool.
Thanks for being here,
Cole. I agree. Thanks, man. You're a good guy. I want to echo some of that sentiment where like it's confirmed for me that the keystone habit of like health and fitness, it influences like based on everybody here, the people's perspective on like working and goal setting. Like if you, it's very hard to be somebody who only sets goals physically and just be like, nah, the other stuff doesn't matter. It like almost inevitably bleeds over. So you guys are all a testament to that.
Thanks, Jesse. You too, bud.
Cool.
I'd say like my biggest takeaway is, I guess, like organization. Like just hearing Colt and Jesse like talk about their days, I guess, like in terms of I guess like organizing like periods of time like to work on that. And then I guess also like especially creatively, I feel like I've been like focusing too much on like or more on like the physical aspect of like of improvement, and I would like to improve more on like I guess like creative like writing and stuff, and I feel like I haven't at this point haven't set enough time for writing. So yeah, that's my takeaway from this conversation.
This is my big thing about working out too. I feel like working out, because like there's nothing more I'd rather do than just like work out for like hours a day. But anytime I'm doing more than just like an hour, I literally feel like I'm actually being lazy, because what I'm saying is like, because there are diminishing returns, very fast diminishing returns for how much like effort you put into fitness. And also, unless you're like trying to make it your literal career to be fit, you should divert that energy into something else, man. Like I really feel like I'm being lazy if I just like keep working out just because I want to.
Yeah. There's a fine line.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to all of our viewers live and later on in the recordings. You guys are amazing. The greatest compliment you can give us is if you share this with your friends. All right, it's time for the pose off, everybody. Pose down. All right, come on, guys. Let's go. Thank you, everyone. You guys earned this.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, everybody. See you guys. Have a good night.
Bye, Colt. Have fun working, whatever. I don't know. We don't know what his other job is, so what's he going to go do right now? I don't know.
Later, guys.
Hang loose, guys. All right, take care. Bye.
Hang loose.